If 130-pound superstars Erik Morales and Manny Pacquiao both win tonight, boxing fans will likely be treated to a rematch of the unforgettable battle they waged just 6 months ago.
Pacquiao lands his left-hand plate, and Morales chases him across the ring and says, "Let's fight!" Good hard right hand by Morales. Pacquiao comes on with the left. Right hand over the top by Morales. Right hands to the body. Pacquiao lands a sizzling left. Pacquiao with a four-punch combination. Great left hand by Morales stops Pacquiao in his tracks. Right hand wobbles him again. Morales senses a chance. Pacquiao comes back. What a brilliant round. There's nowhere else in sport you'll find greater passion, greater courage, greater sheer guts than what these two guys are showing you. This is boxing at its best.
When it was over, Morales' size and tactical brilliance had won the day in a classic high-action drama. Tonight, Morales and Pacquiao find themselves on a collision course once again, circling each other from a distance as they compete in separate bouts en route to their seemingly inevitable rematch.
What an awesome show! What a great fight!
World Championship Boxing is live in high definition from Staples Center in Los Angeles, California. Tonight, we have a pair of bouts featuring two of the biggest names in boxing. First, Filipino slugger Manny Pacquiao takes on veteran Hector Velazquez at 130 pounds. Then, Erik Morales meets Philadelphian Zahir Rahim. They're fighting with a 135-pound limit. Presumably, the winners of these two bouts will meet next. That is, if the winners are Pacquiao and Morales. Inside Staples Center, a large and raucous crowd reflecting the avid followings that both fighters bring to the ring. Hello again, I'm Jim Lampley. We welcome you to this World Championship Boxing doubleheader in Los Angeles, featuring two of the most exciting fighters in the sport. Both Erik Morales and Manny Pacquiao are at the top of the list for taking risks to please boxing fans, both in and out of the ring. So tonight is a bit unusual, because while they are two of the most exciting fighters in the sport, and their careers on both sides have been marked by big fight after big fight after big fight, both will be trying to gain careful, safe passage over less glamorous opposition tonight to do the proper business of setting up a possible rematch against each other. Working with me, as always, HBO boxing analyst Larry Merchant. Larry, in order for us to get to the rematch of the sensational fight that Pacquiao and Morales staged earlier this year, both fighters have to get past limited opposition in some ways tonight. This is a careful piece of business, but is it possible that a real fight breaks out?
The smart money is on Bruce Trampler. He's the matchmaker for promoter Barb Arum, whose mandate was to create a kind of infomercial for the rematch. Reasonable but not dangerous opposition for the stars. But this is not an exact science or even intelligent design. You may remember that Oscar de la Hoya, in a similar scenario, had to be rescued by the kindness of judges from an upset by Felix Sturm so that he could go on to fight Bernard Hopkins for the bigger, much bigger bucks. We don't expect the big bucks to stop here.
All right, and a little bit later we'll be hearing from our expert commentator, Emmanuel Stewart, one of the greatest trainers in the history of the sport. And with an eye toward that, we talk about another trainer. Manny Pacquiao is one of the most colorful fighters in boxing. He has a colorful entourage. One of the members of that entourage is Freddie Roach, who has carved out a great career as a trainer after having been a protege of one of the greatest trainers of all time. Freddie Roach is extremely close to Manny Pacquiao, the fighter. Through the force of great passion and knowledge, Freddie Roach has become one of boxing's top trainers.
Yeah, after your combinations, you can't stand in front of this guy.
As he works the mitts with slugging superstar Manny Pacquiao, you wouldn't suspect Freddie Roach suffers from a debilitating disease.
Right here.
Freddie's lifelong link to boxing was predestined. His father, Paul, made boxing a family affair, and Freddie's path was established.
My dad lived through us. He was a fighter. He wanted us to be fighters. It was part of life in the Roach household. My first fight was when I was 6 years old, my first tournament when I was 8 years old. I love my dad, and he died a few years ago, but he was a very physical person, and he had a mean side to him. If you didn't choose to be a fighter, you caught more beatings than the guys that chose fighting did. He used to tell me that he'd knock me out if we ever fought each other. I believed him, and I was scared of him.
As a junior featherweight in the 1980s, Freddie channeled that fear, styling himself a crowd-pleasing free swinger with a zest for combat.
I was aggressive. My style as a fighter was take one and give two. You know, I was a white kid who fought hard, bled sometimes, and people like that. And I was number 8 in the world, and I thought I was going to be world champion.
Trained by the legendary Eddie Futch, Roach battled Bobby Chacon, Hector Camacho, and Greg Haugen, but never won a title. A broken hand and a series of losses derailed Roach's career, and suddenly, at age 26, Freddie was finished as a fighter.
When I retired, I was broke. I kind of was a little bit bitter because I put my whole life into something and I didn't quite reach my goal, which was to be world champion. I got a job as a telemarketer, selling pens and key tags over the phone, and my phone name was Joe Davis.
Then Eddie Futch reached out to his former pupil to help train his legion of fighters. Within a year, Roach had his own champion in Virgil Hill.
I became Eddie's assistant. I wanted nothing to do with it, but then I just found something that I actually did better than fight, and that's training fighters.
Since then, Roach has trained some of the biggest names in boxing, including Marlon Starling, Virgil Hill, Mike Tyson, Johnny Tapia, James Toney, and Manny Pacquiao. Roach credits his success to lessons learned from Futch, the gentle father figure who taught him to love boxing again.
I have worked with 17 world champions in all so far. I think Mr. Futch has like 23, 24, and I'm chasing him.
Freddie's latest charge, Manny Pacquiao, is a fighter with whom he shares a playful bond.
He's looking for my my future, you know, good future, not bad.
This kid is so fun to work with. Everything he does is 100%, and that's the way fighters are supposed to be.
I trust him, and he's like my father.
He's like my kid to me. He's like my son. I mean, I love this kid.
The ring wars ended nearly 2 decades ago for Freddie Roach, but there is a lonely battle he fights every day of his life.
In 1990, I was diagnosed with having Parkinson's. One of my neurologists says it's trauma-related from boxing. But, you know, they can't really prove that, but they can assume it. I'll shake sometimes. It's more embarrassing than anything. You know, I can't walk too well, but I can box in the gym 40 rounds if I want to. No problem. I don't talk to my fighters about my disease, and I don't think Manny even knows that I have Parkinson's, to be honest with you. It doesn't get in the way of my life and my training at all. Parkinson's is part of my life, but let's keep it at that. You know?
We don't have a problem about that.
My doctors tell me, you know, someday it could affect me where I can't function as well as I do. And I said, well, until that day happens, I'm gonna work my ass off. I'm not gonna lie down and die. I'm a fighter and I'll be a fighter till the end. I don't want anyone to feel sad for me because I'm very happy.
Within the past 2 years, Freddie Roach went above and beyond the role of trainer to Pacquiao and spoke out to become the driving force in helping to create publicity that allowed Pacquiao to ultimately shed the shackles of a manager and a promoter whom Roach perceived to be denying Pacquiao the fair rewards from his fighting. In effect, he wasn't getting paid as much as Roach thought that he should have gotten paid, and Roach made a public issue of it, and now Pacquiao has a new trainer and manager. So Freddie succeeded that way, Emmanuel Stewart. Now, can he succeed in getting wild slugger Manny Pacquiao to fight smarter fights, or is that a lost cause?
That's a different case right there. As a matter of fact, I don't know if he should want to change him because that's what's made him successful. The ideal situation for a trainer in this case would be to try to get the fighter to keep that little animosity and then get a little bit more technical. But that would be a dream situation. But I don't think that you're going to be able to contain that in Manny Pacquiao. And that's like trying to change Mike Tyson of the 80s from what he was. But that's what made him. And I think Pacquiao will always be that way, and he will never be able to change it.
All right, let's correct one verbal typo here. I said Pacquiao has a new trainer and manager. I meant to say he has a new promoter and manager. Obviously, Roach is still the trainer. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape now for Manny Pacquiao against his opponent tonight, Hector Velazquez of Mexico. Velazquez gives up 4 years in age to Pacquiao, who's a big figure in the sport, but still only 26. Half-inch height advantage to Velazquez, who's not unlike Erik Morales, really, in style. An arm-length advantage to Pacquiao when measured from the armpit to the end of the fist. They both weighed in at 130. Unofficially tonight, they both put on 10 pounds since the weigh-in. Rules of the bout with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
The Manny Pacquiao Hector Velazquez fight is scheduled for 12 rounds using the unified rules that you see on your screen. Jim, real quick, the 4 criteria that the judges will use to score each individual round: clean punching, effective aggressiveness, ring generalship, and defense, with a strong emphasis on clean, effective punching. Jim.
All right, Harold. And now Mexican fans in the arena, and Mexican-American fans, of course, here to support Erik Morales, rise in unison to offer their friendly support to Hector Velazquez, who in years past has been a friend and a running mate of Morales's.
And also of Orlando Soto, another fighter from Tijuana who upset Rocky Juarez a couple of weeks ago. A similar tough guy. And in his last 2 bigger fights, he went the distance with Juarez in a very close fight and lost to Soto going the distance. So he's a tough guy that's going to take some taking out to take out.
But Pacquiao feels confident about the matchup because no one denies that Velazquez at some time or other is going to trade punches with Pacquiao. And that, for any other than the most elite fighters in the sport, is a very tough thing to do. If you have only normal hand speed, Emmanuel Stewart, you're in a different world when you get ready to fight Manny Pacquiao.
That's true. You got to be able to take a punch to begin with, and you have to be very fundamentally sound because Pacquiao sometimes is vulnerable after he punches with so much power and he relaxes for a second. But most normal fighters are not going to be able to take advantage of that.
Pacquiao is, of course, the #1 celebrity in his island nation home in the Philippines, but he's a massive star here in Los Angeles as well.
We talked before about the difficulties he had with management. He reportedly accepted an $800,000 settlement with Murad Muhammad, his former promoter. And he says he feels a lot better, lighter, faster, and quicker since he's resolved that situation.
He burst on the scene 3.5 years ago as the knockout sensation of the lower weight classes, and he's been in big fights ever since. Looking for another match with Erik Morales. There's Manny Pacquiao. Let's go to ring announcer Michael Buffer now for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Staples Center, Los Angeles, California, USA, where tonight Bob Arum's Top Rank Incorporated is proud to present Double Trouble, an evening of professional boxing for your entertainment. Brought to you in association with Integra Inmediata and AEG, along with HBO Sports. All bouts sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission. At ringside, the 3 judges scoring this first contest: Steve English, Alejandro Rochin, and Marty Salmon. And when the bell rings, the man inside the ring in charge of the action, referee Dr. Lou Moret. And now, 12 rounds of boxing. This is for the vacant WBC Super Featherweight International Championship. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing white trimmed with green, official weight 130 pounds. Professional record, 42 victories, including 31 knockouts, 10 defeats, 2 draws, and 1 no contest. Damas y caballeros de Tijuana, Mexico, Hector Velazquez. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing red. Official weight, the same as his opponent, 130 pounds. Professional record, 39 victories, including 30 knockouts, with 3 defeats and 2 bouts even. From General Santos City, Philippines, the 3-time world champion, Manny Pacquiao.
Thank you, Michael. I guess they want me to take more time and everything, huh? Okay. Right here is okay. Right? Watch your heads. I'll give you instruction in the dressing room. Shake hands and await the bell. Good luck. Good luck.
We have a baseball season coming to a climax, a football season starting, U.S. Tennis Open, but halfway around the world in the Philippines, where Pacquiao is either Elvis or Ali, depending on your choice. This is the only event in the world that counts.
Velazquez, for his part, says, I'm bigger and stronger. He's not really a 130-pound fighter. Even those around Pacquiao would confess that they think his best weight is 126. But he fights at 130, chasing another big fight with Morales. Hard left hand from Pacquiao.
What it may be short in terms of weight, he makes up in explosive punching power.
Round 1 produces contact so far. Sufficient to demonstrate that Velazquez isn't going to try to hide from Pacquiao's speed and power.
Velazquez saying to Pacquiao, I thought you were a fighter. Let's see you fight me.
Uppercut inside by Pacquiao. Stiff right hand by Velazquez. Momentarily backs the Filipino star off.
So far, Velazquez's ability to bend his head down has been making it very difficult for Pacquiao to land his favorite punch, a straight left hand, usually with his opponents with their heads up. So far, he hasn't been able to do that because of the low head movement.
There was the straight left hand. He led with it and landed the punch. In the past, Pacquiao has been criticized for repeating the same pattern over and over in the ring, particularly against Juan Manuel Marquez. Jab, jab, left hand. Jab, jab, left hand. Not enough variety. Velazquez avoids a headbutt and bangs Pacquiao twice to the body. Velazquez taking it right to Manny Pacquiao in round 1, and Pacquiao looks as though he didn't exactly expect this.
No, and for the most part, Pacquiao is doing the same thing. He's still trying to land that powerful straight left hand of his.
Pacquiao landed a right. Velazquez landed a right hand after earlier driving Pacquiao back with a left. So they're trading shots just a little bit more than 2 minutes into round 1. It's the kind of fight Manny Pacquiao wants to fight, but against an opponent who looks bigger and stronger.
And his opponent is very confident and very focused. I think this Mexican crowd right here is giving him a lot of encouragement.
And you saw Pacquiao look to the crowd and shake his head a little bit, as if to say he's trying to butt me with his skull. There's a big right hand by Velazquez. Pacquiao tries to answer straight away with a hard left hand. And there's a good left from Pacquiao. Velazquez holds his hands out as if to say, that didn't hurt.
And actually, headbutts may be a big factor in this fight, the way it's going also.
They've flirted with headbutts 3 or 4 times in the first round already.
Serious headbutts, too.
And as we go to the corners, where they speak Filipino, or Tagalog, I should say, in Pacquiao's corner, our interpreter is Ernie Kalua. And across the ring, where they speak Spanish, in Velazquez's corner, our interpreter will be Ray Torres. Got it.
Now, don't wait on this guy so much. Don't let him be first. You be first with your jab, okay? Yeah. Right? He said, now we need more head movement, okay? You gotta move your head more. You're too stationary, okay? Yeah.
You're a better friend. Feint him. Be lively. In exchanges, go forward. Throw your jab.
Southpaw against conventional fighter, always a danger of a headbutt. This time they avoided any damage.
Pacquiao was bothered in the first fight against Morales by a cut that he suffered in the 5th round of the fight. The cut could have been the product of a punch or of a headbutt. Look at the wild swinging that typifies the action to begin round 2.
Velazquez is nowhere near the accurate power puncher of Pacquiao, but he's still coming in very, very determined, and his style seems to be giving a little problem to Pacquiao.
Well, and his size as well, because he's been hit some nice solid punches and walked right through them.
Right. Pacquiao's biggest win was his devastating TKO of Marco Antonio Barrera in San Antonio in November of '03. Since that time, he's been fighting bigger guys. Marquez, Morales, now Velazquez, all of them bigger and stronger than Barrera, and it's been different.
It's been different. He's a very exciting, emotional type fighter, very explosive. But his biggest weakness, if you notice, is after he throws that powerful left hand sometime, temporarily he's out of position because he punches with so much power, and some of these guys come back with right hands and they catch him.
What about the fact that he's such a rampant offensive attacker that he has a still head and is not that difficult to hit?
That's true.
Morales certainly took advantage of that in outboxing him earlier this year. Used Pacquiao's head as a target for his jab over and over. Now Manny begins to assert himself a little bit more here in round 2.
He's trying to find that knockout power with that left hand, and he's getting closer and closer.
It's going to take an accumulation, it would appear, but the accumulation could well take place.
And see, once again, that's what I'm saying. After he throws that left hand punch, that's when he gets caught usually, right after that.
But he got Velazquez with a counter left hand in that last exchange. That stunned Velazquez. Velazquez now nailing Pacquiao with a right. Pacquiao backs Velazquez off with a left. Velazquez wobbled momentarily after 2 big Pacquiao left hands.
You know, the guy like Velazquez, sometimes you have to watch very carefully. He's so uncoordinated and gangly that you'll get excited thinking that he's hurt and maybe overextend yourself.
Pacquiao is starting to get more accurate with both his jab and the left hand. That lead left hand landed flush. Now the speed begins to show up.
Pacquiao is trying to take a break right now just to figure out what's going on.
He blocked one right hand with his glove, took the second right hand, and shook his head a bit. Pacquiao landing a left in there. Velazquez with a right and a left. Wild action extends beyond the bell at the end of round 2.
A fight has broken out.
Yeah.
Don't lower your hands. He's got quick hands, that's all. He doesn't even know how to fight. You know better. You're a better fighter than he is. This is your opportunity. Don't waste it. You understand me? You are superior to him in everything. Don't let him take the initiative. He can't even fight. You know how to fight. You've been in the gym for a long time. Throw the overhand right and hit him underneath. Come on, hit him hard, underneath.
CompuBox numbers through the first 2 rounds. Power punches only. Forget jabs. Pacquiao's thrown 109 power punches already, landed 37. Velazquez has unleashed 76 power shots, landed 28. Straight right hand for Velazquez.
No, limpio, break thing, come on.
Velazquez swinging away with the right hand after Pacquiao popped him inside with the left. And you heard Velazquez's corner, Emmanuel. They think he's overexcited and they want him to be more under control.
Yeah, he's I guess you're such a strong pro-Mexican crowd, even though you have a good Filipino crowd here. But I think he's gotten wrapped up into the excitement of the crowd here.
That's right. He's momentarily wearing Erik Morales' cape because he's got the full support of Morales' crowd. So maybe he feels like he's Morales.
But also, you know, by the same token, even though he's not the most talented guy, he's doing something I think is very good with his limited talent, and that is punching that weird right hand that he throws after Pacquiao finishes punching, because Pacquiao is out of position usually after he finishes up his flurries.
Larry made the point about conventional fighter versus a southpaw. But in truth, Manny Pacquiao doesn't stay in a southpaw stance all that much.
That's right, and that's often why he's vulnerable to get hit a lot. He actually gets square sometimes after he throws punches, like right there.
He would just as soon square up because he wants to fight.
He's a very exciting, explosive fighter. I love him. He's one of my favorite fighters to watch.
Well, if you want to see guys who hit and get hit, Manny Pacquiao hits and gets hit. Hard left hand.
I have this sense that Pacquiao's speed is beginning to dominate, but that Velazquez is dangerous, and anywhere along the line he could land a big punch that could change the fight.
The speed is just such a big difference. Velazquez is just so much slower, and also it looks like Pacquiao seems to be in very good condition. Even though he's punching a lot, he seems to stay up recuperating powers very good and coming back right after each exchange.
Does appear to be in sensational shape. Pacquiao is known to be a gym rat, very proud of his training habits. Prior to the Morales fight, Filipino fans in Los Angeles were allowed to come to the Wild Card gym where Freddie Roach trains Pacquiao and watch him train on a daily basis. After that fight, Roach decided that was too much of a distraction, and this time around they shut them out.
No. Stop.
Whenever they set up and face each other again, it's usually Pacquiao who lands first because of his greater speed.
His favorite combination is to land you up with a right jab and shoot a powerful left hand, and sometimes he comes back out of position, but he shoots so much power that sooner or later he's going to start contacting.
Nice job, okay? Good job. Focus. Now, Manny, I want you and God, with the hook. Put the uppercut and the hook together for me. Put the uppercut and the hook together for me. Okay? Yeah.
When somebody comes as hard as Pacquiao, he doesn't have to look good, and suddenly Velazquez doesn't seem as confident that the kid in front of him is going to be smaller and somebody he can handle.
I saw something interesting on the replay there. If you're going to block a punch with your glove, it'd be a good idea to hold the glove firm so that it doesn't go right into your face, as is what happened to Velazquez there. There's the speed and the big left hand by Pacquiao. Harold Letterman, how do you have it through 3 rounds?
Okay, Jim, 2 rounds to 1, 29-28, Manny Pacquiao. Jim, I thought Hector Velazquez did enough with that looping right hand to win round 1. But in rounds 2 and 3, Manny Pacquiao with that straight left hand and that move after he hits him has just been murdering Velazquez. I mean, Velazquez has to score when Manny Pacquiao's right in front of him, and that's all there is to it.
Power connects in round 3. Pacquiao was 18 out of 47. Velazquez 8 out of 38. So Velazquez got a benefit early on from swinging away and unleashing his offense. But more and more, Pacquiao has found the openings in that attack to allow him to land power punches.
Yes, it's a very tough fight for Pacquiao. I never expected it to be this difficult, but you know, I guess it's a tough guy mentally, I think, and physically. And also, you know, basically, Pacquiao still doing basically the same thing over and over, though. If he would relax and box something like they've been telling him, he can maybe be more effective with power punches, but everything that he does is a power punch. He drives his opponent into a defensive mode with merely the way he shoots his jab, usually.
He acts in thriller movies in the Philippines. He's been in 5 different movies. In each of the last 2, he's the star. His buddies are wrestlers and action fighters from other kinds of action fighting sports and combat sports. He wants every moment of his life to be a thriller.
Yeah, but it is, but you know, I don't know how many of these type fights he can keep having back to back. And when you're fighting the quality guys, you don't knock them out that easy.
Well, fighters like this, as you know, Emmanuel, they have a few hot years when they're filled with confidence, and it's the time you just got to take the gun and shoot it.
Larry, you're right, but still, a fighter like him, he has to do what he's doing right now. He may make enough money in the next year or two where if he does run out of energy, so to say, he'll at least be a rich man.
Sluggers. He has in some ways the kind of life that Jack Dempsey had.
10 seconds.
He has in some ways the kind of life that Mike Tyson had at his peak in the ring. Manny Pacquiao has parallels to both those guys.
Which as fans, we benefit from.
Absolutely.
Everything is fine. You took all his punches. Come on, you got to be a little quicker, though. How you feeling? He hit you with everything and didn't do anything to you. You got to keep throwing that jab, but quick, very swift. Don't let him.
Okay. Hey, they showing me to land some real nice body shots out there. I want that body work a little more, okay?
Yeah, but I hit.
Huh? Watch his head, okay? Erik, throw the left hand from outside behind the jab. Right down the middle. That's a beautiful body shot. Come back in the hook.
Ingat sa ulo niya.
1, 2, 3. Okay?
Jim, you mentioned his movies. He's got a new one out, appropriately titled Licensed Fists, which is opening next week in Los Angeles. And he's also going to...
No, stop. No, that's otra vez, te quito un punto. And don't hit back after that. Let's go.
He's also going to sing with the Black Eyed Peas in a song called Champion. Licensed Fists for a Champion.
The Black Eyed Peas are red hot. Manny Pacquiao's red hot. Good match. Black Eyed Peas are a high contact group. Manny Pacquiao is a high contact fighter.
And Velazquez is just so relaxed. That's why it's so difficult to hurt him. It's just a total relaxed. His body, everything is easy going, and he absorbs and goes with every blow that he gets hit with.
You know, Freddie Roach asked Manny Pacquiao to throw a few more body punches. I sometimes get the impression he could go a whole month without throwing a body punch.
No, he just loves to fight. He's a very exciting guy. He explosive, then he rests, recuperates, then he explodes again, rests again, then explodes again.
Couldn't he make it easier if he would focus on the body just a little bit, Emmanuel?
Oh, yeah, and he can box a little bit, mix up his attack. Every punch don't have to be a knockout punch. He can relax his opponent, and then a hard punch would be more effective. But when you see him moving towards you, you can expect nothing but dynamite in every punch.
Here's a good body punch.
And there's a good solid left hand upstairs set up by the body punch. Velazquez gets in a good little shot to the body. Pacquiao just keeps bombing him upstairs with rights and lefts.
No, stop.
Pacquiao has landed more right hands tonight than we usually see him.
Yes. You know, when he gets tired after his explosion and wants to take a break, his opponent, Velazquez, follows him, but he follows him so slow that he can take his break and set up and start all over again without being in any danger. Another good right hand.
All right, and as the fighters go to their corners, let's take a look at a sensational moment from the undercard. 2000 United States Olympian Brian Valoria fighting for a world championship in the light flyweight division. The Hawaiian punch in the white trunks. This is the end of round one, and Valoria landed that sensational right hand to the chin of Erik Ortiz. Ortiz struggled manfully to get up, but at the end of what had been a violent round one, Ortiz fell back to his knees, and Valoria, with a first round knockout, became the third member of the 2000 Olympic team to win a world championship, joining Jermaine Taylor and Jeff Lacey.
Lacey, who is here tonight.
And Emmanuel Stewart, Brian Valoria was sensational tonight.
Yes, he was. You know, he's the smallest guy of the team to win a title, but the most impressive knockout of all of them. In fact, he was considered the biggest puncher on the entire Olympic team in 2000, even though he was the smallest guy.
And en route to the ring to score that knockout, Valoria gave a hug to the fighter he fought in his last fight here in Staples Center, a Mexican fighter named Ruben Contreras. The story there was that after Valoria knocked out Contreras in the 6th round, Contreras suffered subdural bleeding and actually was taken to a hospital where he nearly died. Contreras has won the battle for his life. He's getting better, and Valoria dedicated his knockout tonight to his previous opponent.
That was very nice of him, too.
Also, Jim Valoria, it turns out, something we didn't fully know, is an Hawaiian American, of course, but he is a 100% Filipino background, so that he can take advantage of all the Filipino fans who have come out for Pacquiao, and maybe that'll be part of his fan base as well.
CompuBox numbers through round 5. Pacquiao's landed 109 power shots. Velazquez has landed 68. Shows you what a dynamic offensive force Pacquiao is. Shows you that he leaves himself open defensively.
Yes, it does. But this is the perfect opponent for him in preparation for the fight with Morales, because even though he may get tired and he's having a rough contest, the slowness of the opponent, Velazquez, will always permit him to be able to get away.
There's an abrasion alongside the left eye of Velazquez. Testimony to those right hands he's been catching just like that.
Sizzling right hand inside by Pacquiao, who has zeroed in the last couple of rounds and seems to be getting more and more accurate with his power shots.
But I'm very impressed with his stamina and his condition, right, because he's thrown a lot of punches, I mean power punches, and still is punching with full power at this stage of the fight.
There's a creeping doubt in my mind, Emmanuel, as to whether Manny Pacquiao is really a 130-pound fighter.
No, I don't think so. I think his best weight is 126 pounds. And when you're fighting guys who are like Morales, who are coming in from 140, that natural weight, it can be a big factor late in the fight.
Perfect right hand by Pacquiao.
Right hook.
Stuns Velazquez. Pacquiao trying to finish it. Got 40 seconds to get it done. One of the most vicious finishers in the sport. Velazquez in big trouble now, trying to hold on.
Velazquez is doing something that's very smart. Clinch, even if you have to fall down with the opponent.
Pacquiao just missed a counter left hand that would have ended the fight. Good job of holding on by Velazquez. He's still staggering.
Velazquez is not only hurt, I think fatigue is a big factor now. There's no way I can see him going into the fight.
The increasing accuracy of Pacquiao's shots making a difference, and Velazquez goes to his knee as the round comes to a close. They're saying he did so before the bell, so it is a knockdown. And that's a stoppage.
Good call by the referee.
Something nobody else has done among the name opponents that he has fought in recent years. He is the Pac-Man, Manny Pacquiao.
Manny Pacquiao does his part, and in typical Manny Pacquiao fashion, he wasn't going to take no for an answer on the knockout quest tonight.
I was very impressed tonight. Punching power, stamina, everything.
I was just about to come to the conclusion it was going to be very difficult for him to get that knockout tonight. And he stepped up the accuracy of his power shots and started landing them all right on the button.
And especially the right hook. You know, everyone was looking for the left hand. He landed the right hook, and that's what started most of the problems.
All right, let's take a look here. This is the first moment at which Velazquez was hurt. Look at the perfect right hook. As Velazquez was stepping in, Pacquiao picking his spot and nailing him with that right hook.
The punch that you don't see is the punch that always hurts you.
And then a barrage of straight left hands following that. And referee Lou Filippo watching closely to be certain that Velazquez was still throwing, still defending himself. When Velazquez went down, Filippo gave him the count and realized that the Mexican fighter had had enough of Pacquiao's constant storm of power punches.
I'm looking very much forward to his fight with Morales.
Bet you are. So Manny Pacquiao's luster grows again. And referee, I keep saying Lou Filippo, that's Lou Moret. Let me correct that. We got two Lou's here in California, and that's Lou Moret, who made the good stoppage. And now let's go to ring announcer Michael Buffer for the official particulars on the Pacquiao knockout.
Ladies and gentlemen, here at Staples Center, Los Angeles, California, Dr. Lou Moret, your referee, calls a halt to the contest following the knockdown. The official time, 2 minutes, 59 seconds of round number 6. The winner by knockout victory. He is the new WBC Super Featherweight International Champion, Manny Pacquiao.
Manager Shelley Finkel hugging the fighter. Here are the CompuBox numbers sizing up the Pacquiao knockout of Hector Velazquez. And Velazquez was the perfect opponent for this kind of show. Willing, aggressive. Thought for a second he had a chance in the fight. Pacquiao practically doubling Velazquez in the number of punches landed. Never stopped throwing, as is his wont in virtually every one of his assignments. Power shots, that's what the fight was all about. Straight left hand, right hook for Pacquiao landing 146 times. Velazquez mostly looping right hands, the occasional body shot en route to his own power punch numbers. Larry Merchant stands by in the ring with the winner, Manny Pacquiao.
Thank you very much, Jim. Congratulations, Manny. Early in the fight, you hit him some very hard punches, but he was big and strong. Did you think you would be able to knock him out tonight?
I expected I knock him out in the in the 6 rounds or 7 rounds, but that's my opinion. That's my idea.
Did he hurt you with any of the punches that he hit you with?
No, not he didn't hit me.
After losing to Erik Morales and having a draw with Marquez, how important was this to you personally?
I'm sorry.
After losing to Morales and having a draw with Marquez, how important was it to you personally to come here and win a fight like this?
It's very, very important, this victory, because first of all, I have to recover my name in boxing, and also I have to bring my honors to my country, especially in this time.
Do you feel differently with a different managerial group now?
Yeah, I feel happy right now. I'm not thinking about anything else except that my focused in training. So I'm very focused to my training this fight, and I don't have a problem this fight.
Are you looking forward to a rematch with Erik Morales?
Yeah, that's what I need to win this fight. You know, I'm working hard. I work hard this fight because especially I'm lost in last fight against Morales.
Do you think you can beat Erik Morales in the rematch?
Yeah, I do.
Thank you. Congratulations again, Manny.
All right, thank you very much. And I would like to thank to HBO for this another big opportunity to my name, to recover my name. And hope, thank you very much to all the all fans, love boxing. Thank you very much to all support with us. And I would like to thank to all my countrymen, especially the first gentleman is here and watching, and to all the people of the Philippines. Thank you very much to all your support.
Thank you again, Manny. Jim?
Way to go, Manny. I believe that is the first time Manny Pacquiao has done the post-fight interview in English without an interpreter. He's been wanting to get to that level as he studies English. And Manny, that was great. He did it. Well, Manny Pacquiao said that he lost his first fight against Erik Morales because his then promoter had made a deal that required him to wear the Asian glove winning. He says winning gloves are like pillows. Those were not pillow gloves tonight.
Well, you know, a lot has been made about the gloves. Me personally, I don't think it's a big factor, and I would still stand by that. I've actually tried on those winning gloves themselves. It's a very hard, compact glove, not like they used to be. And don't forget, Erik Morales is a good puncher himself. I mean, neither one of these guys have been scoring a lot of knockouts lately because they've been fighting top quality guys. But Morales punches okay too. So the same was for both of the guys. So I don't think the gloves was that big a factor.
Now, off of what we just saw, I would have to say if there's going to be any difference in Manny Pacquiao the second time around against Erik Morales, it isn't going to be a style difference. Maybe he'll try to be more focused, better conditioned, and wear different gloves.
Well, it's going to be a tough fight. I don't care if those guys fight a million times, it's going to be tough because of the inner strength that both guys bring into the ring and the intensity. I think tonight's performance was a very impressive performance for me.
All right, still to come, the other main event between Erik Morales and Zahir Rahim. But right now, let's look ahead. Can Roy regain his magic touch with his father back in his corner? Or is Tarver the end of the line for the great Roy Jones' career? A look at the Staples Center on this clear, beautiful night in Los Angeles. After a red-hot week in LA, it has cooled off just a little bit for the 13,000 or so boxing fans who are in the arena and have just enjoyed Manny Pacquiao's knockout of Hector Velazquez, getting ready now for Erik Morales versus Zahir Rahim. Erik Morales has achieved so much in his boxing career that in the months since his decision win over Manny Pacquiao earlier this year, and despite the fact that Morales lost 2 of his 3 fights so far with Marco Antonio Barrera, Mexican writers have begun comparing him to the great Julio Cesar Chavez. It's quite a story for the young man who started practically from nowhere.
Boxing is like a drug.
And suddenly at center ring, Morales takes over the fight.
You get involved and it's difficult to say, I'm stopping.
And Morales chases him across the ring and says, let's fight.
The road to boxing stardom was filled with obstacles for Mexico's Erik Morales. Born in the infamous border town of Tijuana, El Terrible was never far from trouble.
Here, the northern area is classified as the red light district.
It can be a dangerous place. Many of his friends had family that were involved in possibly the shipping of illegal immigrants and other things.
There are alleys where children can go in and sniff glue and smoke marijuana.
There are probably, not probably, there are a lot of things going on. Drugs, people looking for the American dream, 1,000 things.
Erik avoided the dangers of the streets by learning how to box in his father's gym, just upstairs from the apartment where he grew up.
As a kid born into the world of boxing, your toys are gloves. All his games were played upstairs in the gym. In the ring, everything. He even started crawling in the ring.
A fighter himself in the 70s and 80s, Jose Morales was role model and mentor for young Erik, who took up boxing at age 5.
I think that all kids want to be like their parents, and we try to imitate what we have and what we see. So what we had and what we saw was boxing.
Erik followed in his father's footsteps with his own successful amateur career. But when the boy wanted to turn pro, his father remembered his own past experiences.
I never wanted my children to be involved with anything in boxing. For many, we go in with the illusion of becoming world champions, and we never achieve that. Others get hurt with irreversible damage. I didn't want that for my son. You can't offer a child a sport and then take it away. You can't do that.
In convincing Jose, Erik got support from an unlikely ally, his mother.
It should be the person who decides, I can't, I don't want to, it's too hard, and not let others decide what you want to do.
She'd say, look, I don't want you to fight, but if you fight and lose, I'm going to beat you. So I had two options, don't fight, or if I fight, win.
As Erik pounded his way through early opponents, the once reluctant father was impressed.
In the beginning, it was difficult to accept my son was a fighter. But on the contrary, I saw his talent in what he was doing and the love he gave to boxing.
Today, as the wins and titles continue to accumulate, even Erik and his family admit his career long ago surpassed his expectations.
As a mother, like anybody, I want everyone to do well, that everyone reaches their goals and is successful. But it would be a great lie to say I've always dreamed about this, no?
I never dreamt about winning 2 world titles in different weight classes, let alone 3. I dreamed about winning 25,000 pesos, about $2,500. Boy, the day I get that, I never dreamt winning these stratospheric numbers. Those were my dreams.
There's nowhere else in sport you'll find greater passion, greater courage. This is boxing at its best.
Dreams that came true because of the path he chose to follow, the path of most resistance.
I don't know whether to tell you if it was destiny or not, but when you find something you like, do it.
Well, with the continued support of his father, who it appears will be his trainer from start to finish of his boxing career, and of course from his mother, Erik Morales won a world championship at 122 pounds at age 21, and since then has gone on to win titles at 126 and 130, and he's looking at the possibility of trying to move up and go into another weight class to do so. Larry, what is the next chapter?
You would have to say that nature and nurture led to stature for Erik Morales, and now he hopes to his version of rapture, becoming the first Mexican fighter to win 4 titles from 122 to 135 pounds, or as we used to say in a simpler time, the featherweight and lightweight championships of the world. Only visited in the past by such great fighters as Canzoneri and Armstrong and Arguello. But whatever, the old days might have been not all that great. Remember, they used to use orange peels for mouthpieces, and Yogi Berra used to eat banana sandwiches. Anyway, this is Morales' first appearance as a lightweight.
And 2 banana sandwiches will get him up to welterweight, right? We'll see what happens to Erik from here. He's been one of the most spirited and interesting fighters in the sport, and Manny, the opponent, is interesting too. Zahir Rahim was on the 1996 United States Olympic team. He's won 26 pro fights. His only loss came when last year, as a calorie-counting featherweight, he lost a fairly controversial decision in Houston to Houston's Rocky Juarez. Now he fights Erik Morales 9 pounds north of there at 135 and says that he isn't going to box, but rather he's going to fight him. Will he? Can he?
I think he'll fight more than he fought with Rocky Juarez, but once again, he's going in against one of the bigger punchers in boxing. And his natural style is to be a slick, stylish, counter-punching type fighter. So that's not going to change that much. But I do think he's going to be physically much, much stronger, because I know when he was training with me about 4 years ago for a short period of time, he was training to win 150, 154, and was only normal, and he was in great shape then. So making weight has been a big, big factor, I know, in his career, as well as Morales. But I think for this fight, he'll be stronger, and he'll put up a much better fight. And if Morales isn't right, he could score an upset tonight.
You know, you make a great point, because Rahim's trainer, Don House, says the biggest thing he's had to do with Rahim is get him to the point where he can train to actually fight, rather than just training to make weight and not paying any attention to what he does in the ring. Here's the tale of the tape now for Erik Morales and Zahir Rahim. And again, you saw Manny Pacquiao fighting at 130 pounds. Pacquiao hopes to fight Morales at 130 in the rematch, but Morales is toying with the idea of full-time duty in the 135-pound weight class, so that's where he's fighting tonight. 134 and a half at the weigh-in for Morales, 133 for Rahim. You can see that they are virtually identical in age. Morales, who just turned 29 2 weeks ago, is 1 inch taller. He's got a 1 inch arm length advantage measured from the armpit to the end of the fist. And tonight, as they enter the ring, unofficially, Rahim is slightly the heavier man. Rules of the bout with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
The Erik Morales Zahir Rahim fight is scheduled for 12 rounds using the unified rules of the Association of Boxing Commissions. There is no 3 knockdown rule. Only the referee can stop the fight. In case the cut is caused by an accidental headbutt, we go to the scorecards if the 4 rounds have been completed, and you cannot be saved by the bell in any round, including the 12th and final round. Jim.
Great looking entrance outfit here for Zahir Rahim. You can see his record against current or former champions, Luisito Espinoza. It's been a frustrating career of fits and starts for this guy who was once a great prospect from Philadelphia, Larry.
Right, and he says that coming back from the Olympics, where he reached the 3rd round, and another Philadelphian, David Reed, won a gold medal with a dramatic last round knockout, he felt depressed for years on and off. And so he bounced from manager to promoter to manager to promoter, fighting at weights that weren't really his natural weight. We'll see if he can do better at this weight.
One of the toughest things for the psychology of this sport, Emmanuel, is so much is subjective, trying to avoid comparing yourself to somebody else when everybody's career is going to be different.
Everyone is different, and you have to realize that. I mean, you can never tell which direction fate is going to move certain individuals in. You have to take whatever hand you get, so to say, and move on with it and try to do the best you can. I'm looking, he has a great outfit on it. It looks beautiful, but traditionally, the prettier the outfit, the lesser your chances of winning have been. So for the most part, I would want my guy to come in there with not even a robe on, if that's the case.
So you're saying you like to see your guys go with rags to riches.
Yeah, but I do that after the fight, not before the fight.
Well, I guess Rahim is saying, okay, if I haven't had a chance to be a king in boxing, I'll dress like a king. Act as if.
Give me the fighter with the plain outfit on.
Now here comes Morales, and he will get a tumultuous reception. We are about 2 hours, 15 minutes north of Tijuana by car.
Erik Morales had 25 professional fights by the time he was 20. Won his first championship at 21. Has had different championships on and off for the last 8 years.
Few fighters have such a zest for combat, Manny.
That's what's made him the fighter he is. He holds a lot of animosity towards Barrera, a lot of other things, but those are the things inside of him that motivates him. And I really like him as a fighter.
There's a look at some of the big wins. He won his first fight with Barrera and was shaded in both the second and third fights. There is considerable talk of a fourth. You talk about a fighter with options. If Morales wins this, he could be a likely opponent for the winner of the Castillo-Corrales fight for the lightweight championship. He could fight another lightweight champion named Juan Diaz. He could fight Pacquiao. He could fight a fourth fight against Marco Antonio Barrera. That's what happens when you're active and exciting, as he has been throughout his career. Let's go to ring announcer Michael Buffer for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Staples Center here in the City of Angels, Los Angeles, California, USA. Bob Arum's Top Rank Incorporated presents 12 rounds of boxing for the WBC International Lightweight Championship. Brought to you in association with Integra Inmediata and AEG, along with HBO Sports, sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission. Chairman Chris Mears, Vice Chairman Armando Vigara, and Executive Officer Armando Garcia. The three judges at ringside scoring this bout on the 10-point system will be Dr. James Jenkin, Raul Caiz Sr., and Julie Letterman. And when the bell rings, the man in charge of the action inside the ring, referee John Shorley. And now, from Staples Center, Los Angeles, California, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing red, official weight 133 pounds. Professional record 26 victories, including 16 knockouts with only one defeat. Fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, here is Zahir King Rahim. And his opponent across the ring in the blue corner, wearing black, official weight 134.5 pounds. Professional record 48 victories, including 34 knockouts with only 2 defeats. Damas y caballeros, de la zona norte, Tijuana, Mexico, the 3-time world champion, Erik El Terrible Morales.
Second, okay, guys, for the WBC title, give me a good, clean fight. Obey my commands and protect yourselves at all times. Touch gloves, good luck.
Sometimes Erik Morales fights down to the level of opponents when he doesn't perceive them to be serious threats. Let's see how he handles this opponent.
If he does that tonight, he's going to be making a mistake.
He looks like the welterweight that he weighed in at tonight.
Well, you know what would be fun? If the fight goes the distance, we'll get to see how much Harold Letterman's card differs from that of his daughter, Julie Letterman. Does the acorn fall far, as we say, from the scoring tree? Erik Morales says, I'll cut off the ring, I'll make him stand and trade with me. Some figure that Zahir Rahim will do anything but stand and trade with Morales, but Rahim said, I'll fight him. We'll see.
Well, he's certainly standing more flat-footed than we're accustomed to seeing him.
Well, if he continues to fight that fight, he got his work cut out tonight, because Zahir is a very skillful, talented fighter with great coordination. And unless Morales picks it up, it makes it a more busy and intense fight. He's going to have a rough fight tonight on his hands.
So is there potentially still a world champion inside Zahir Rahim, Emmanuel, or has too much time gone by in his career?
I don't think so. I mean, I think so, but also the fact that he's fighting at his proper weight division. Weight was a major factor, as well as inactivity with this fighter.
Good left hook by Rahim. And you saw his hand speed, which is certainly comparable to that of Morales. Straight right hand over the top by Morales. That's one of his better weapons.
It's interesting looking at the gloves. We have, once again here, we have Morales with the winning gloves on, the same gloves that he was insistent on using, and he was able to get.
A good left hook by Rahim. Got the attention of Morales. He's also raked him with a right hand earlier.
Yeah, so you make a great point. Rahim is wearing the puncher's glove. Reyes and Morales, regarded as the puncher in the fight, is wearing the protective glove. Winning, Morales has had hand problems in the past.
That's right.
Right, I got you.
And I don't see much difference. If you take the label off of the gloves and put no label on them, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference to me.
What about the fact that Winning is padded with foam and Reyes with horsehair? Some say that makes a difference.
It does make a difference, but it's not, to me, I've had both gloves on. I don't see much difference.
I'm sure Morales would say it's not about the gloves, it's about the fists.
Well, Morales is opening up now because he senses that Rahim is a little bit quicker and he's trying to overwhelm him.
That's what he's going to have to do because he fights a technical fight. He's going to have his hands for him.
Morales getting in a chopping right hand inside. He has found some holes in Rahim's defense, but he's also gotten hit by Rahim's accurate punching.
But he's also noticing that Rahim's main defense is mainly to just bend down and to take a squat instead of rolling punches. So as a result, he's rather going to land his right hand by shooting it more straighter and shoot it shorter.
Round one, a more physical round than we've seen in previous Zahir Rahim fights.
No, we don't need that back. We don't need that back. It's okay.
When you throw the right hand, watch out with the leg. Come on, the right hand is what you need. Don't be short with a punch. Give him a little bit of water.
Don't push yourself. You're looking good. Relax, baby. Relax.
Is it going nice?
I got it, baby.
Is it going nice?
You got that round. That was your round, baby.
That jab. Move. Get about here. Come with it.
One thing Rahim did in the first round was to take the crowd out of the fight, but it was only the first round.
That's right. Mainly his left hook right there, but he's going to have to be careful because Morales is going to be a little bit more aggressive, I think, now.
Rahim effectively took away Morales' jab, too. Morales threw 13 jabs, didn't land any. Ultimately resorted to power punches and went 7 out of 30. Harold Letterman gave Zahir Rahim round one on his scorecard, probably because of the two solid left hooks. Rahim in the middle of the ring, beating Morales to the punch and landing his own jab. Morales trying to come across the top with the right hand, but Rahim managed to step aside.
Morales' balance is not too good tonight.
Sometimes it's not good early in a fight.
No, he's off balance a lot. When he throws his punches, he finishes up off balance a lot. But he still is a big puncher. And that's why I didn't put so much emphasis on the gloves in the fight with Pacquiao, because he's a good puncher himself.
Manny, in recent years, virtually every single one of Morales' fights against a opposition has gone the distance. He's a good puncher, but he's not an intimidating puncher. He's a great fighter.
Well, you actually look at Pacquiao outside of Barrera, I don't think he's knocked out too many of the top quality guys neither. You get to the top level, it's a little different.
Yep.
But Morales has been fighting a lot of top fighters for the last few years more so.
Hard right hand, guys. Zahir Rahim is seizing the initiative. He's outboxing Morales right now. He's beating him to the punch. He's fighting the fight that he wants to fight, and he's doing pretty well.
Doing very well.
Erik Morales sometimes seems lethargic against opponents who are not fellow superstars. So many of his fights have been big fights that, as Larry pointed out, he tends to drop to the level of his opposition. He doesn't look really hot tonight.
Come on. Erik.
When that happens, he usually finds a way to correct things and to win the fight. But he prides himself on his boxing ability, and I don't know if he is yet convinced that he can't box with Rahim. Once that happens, then you'll see him attack.
Well, Morales loves competition and said before this fight, it'll be fun to fight somebody who's different from the other opponents I've fought. I haven't tested myself against a slick boxer. I think I can do it. Now there are questions.
All right, check it out. Jab, baby. It's your shot. All right.
Next Wednesday, it's the season premiere of Inside the NFL. Join Bob Costas, Chris Collinsworth, Dan Marino, and Chris Carter for picks, analysis, and all the highlights of the first week of the NFL season.
Touch him right hand. All right. Now, when you get inside, he's trying to beat you to the punch. All right. You're gonna have to beat him back to the punch. You gotta work inside to get the hell out of there.
Stop blunting.
He's very difficult, so be sure you're aggressive. Don't get over Sellers there because he's very difficult, very elusive.
Power punches through round two. CompuBox finding Morales landing 15 out of 63. Rahim, 18 out of 54. Slight edge to Rahim. Rahim has been way more effective with his jab than has Morales. Harold Letterman gives the first 2 rounds of the fight to the lesser-known fighter. So former American Olympian Zahir Rahim, whose professional career has been a disappointment to him and to some boxing fans, has carved out the beginnings of a potential upset bid. Morales jabbing to the body.
But he jabs so hard that he actually gets off balance after he throws his jab sometimes. His right leg is totally in there.
Rahim's looping over the top with the right, and now hooked to the body, and there's a big right hand by Morales.
A lot of swinging, not much landing. Right now, Rahim has a much better fix on the rhythm of Morales than Morales does on him.
I agree, Larry, and it's being a big factor right now. Because Morales pushes everything off on that simple, hard 1-2. And right now, Rahim is doing more different things, better upper body movement, everything.
You wouldn't believe this is the same fighter who fought Rocky Juarez.
This has been a tremendous round for Zahir Rahim. Rahim has stood in, traded shots with Morales, gotten the better of the exchanges, shown strength and power in addition to his boxing skill. This round has been a showcase for how good Zahir Rahim might be.
And Morales is fighting mainly on his left feet a lot of the time. His whole body is leaning over his left feet, and Zahir is taking advantage of that by landing much faster punches. The thing that Zahir's got to watch out for is that right hand still, because if he ever gets caught with that long right hand that Morales is shooting, he's going to have some problems.
Body shot by Rahim, great left hook upstairs. There are stretches of these rounds where Zahir Rahim is totally dominant, because as both Larry and Emmanuel have pointed out, he's the one who's controlling the rhythm of the fight.
Deep breath now. Come on, give me a deep breath.
Todo por abajo, Erik.
Everything in the bottom, inside the back. Don't throw any punches on top. Hit him in the body.
Está recargando el cuerpo, te va a cansar.
Yeah, that's right, John.
Just relax, take your time, put the combination together.
Relax, John. You're all right. You look good. So you ain't got to push. You got to push. Relax.
You got all downstairs,
the
too.
knockout gonna come.
All right.
It's gonna come. I see.
Everything cool? All right, baby. You went a long time to get here. Now you here. When he went through the first 3 rounds, he ain't got nothing, baby.
The Mexican and Mexican-American fans in this crowd have gone silent, shocked and or discouraged by what they've seen so far, as Erik Morales in the first 3 rounds has been bested, quite frankly, by American Zahir Rahim. Harold Letterman, how do you have it so far?
Okay, Jim, 3 rounds to nothing, 30-27, Zahir Rahim. Jim, I got to tell you something. These Philadelphia guys are tough. You know, Erik Morales is making 2 basic mistakes that, you know, it's causing him to get hit so much. Number 1, he's reaching. He's absolutely leaning in and reaching, and when he does that, Rahim nails him. Number 2, he's a tall guy who's trying to fight short. Now watch, you'll see him crouch down constantly to try to land shots, and every time he does it, Rahim nails him. 3-0, Rahim.
I have the same score. I wonder if the judges do. Now, all of a sudden, Morales is backing up, looking to counterpunch Rahim.
And let's see if Rahim will take the invitation.
Which shows a kind of confusion on Morales' part and exactly how to attack.
And he gets clocked by a vicious right hand. Now, Rahim is not a big puncher. If he were, he would have been hurt by that punch. Morales backs Rahim off with an uppercut. Swings and misses with a left hook. Another right hand by Morales. Rahim backs him away with 2 perfect jabs, right on the chin.
This looked like it's the making of an upset right now, the way it's going. Unless something drastically changes, it would have to be 1 big punch from Morales. But other than that, it looks like Zahir is going to end up beating him.
What tactical adjustment should Morales be making here, Emmanuel, to try to change the fight?
I don't think he can. I think a lot is based with his body rhythm right now, just and his balance. I mean, everything is just jabbing and leaning in, fighting off of his left foot on the floor, and his right foot is helping there half the time when he's moving in, and that makes a big difference.
Bottom line, this is not great Morales, but that's not so much the story of the fight. This is superb Zahir Rahim so far. That's the big story.
Yes, it's coming. I think the man is fighting at his right weight for a change, and it's making a big difference.
And maybe 135 isn't the right weight for Erik Morales.
You know, you always hear fighters talking about, wait, I got to do this, I had to take too much weight off. They have all kinds of stories, alibis, excuses for why they didn't do what they were supposed to do. But all of a sudden, we're looking at a fighter, Rahim, who seems to have told the truth when he said all of that.
They still better watch that right hand, though. He's still balling for that powerful short overhead right that Morales is shooting.
Morales is having a better round.
But
he's having a better round than he's had, but is he having a better round than Rahim?
I think the flow, as you said, Larry, still is moving towards Rahim. He seems the rhythm is more his for the fight.
Respirando duro. Very skinny. Deep press.
Respirando duro. Respirando duro, hijo. Vamos.
Deep press, son.
Dame una respiradita. Vamos.
Come on. No.
Otro poquito de agua.
Just give me some more water.
Here is a sequence of the left hands that Rahim has driven off Morales inside and outside.
This is, at this moment, the quietest crowd I've ever seen at an Erik Morales fight. He has been bottled lightning, nothing but excitement throughout his professional career. But right now, his fans are stunned by the degree to which he's been technically outgunned in the first 4 rounds by Zahir Rahim. Power connects through round 4. Morales 27 out of 130. Rahim 41 of 104. Harold Letterman gave the 4th round to Morales. That's the first round he's won on the Letterman scorecard.
And he gave him that round because comparatively he did better than the other rounds, but actually he probably didn't even win that, but it was a comparison round. Had one good right uppercut, and that was about it.
Rahim landing at will with the jab. It's not a big jab, it's a flicking jab, but it's too quick for Morales right now. Rahim with the right hand.
Right on the button.
Wet spot in the middle of the ring. A very aware Zahir Rahim steps away.
That was impressive.
It was impressive. He showed real presence of mind and confidence the way he did that. Oh! Unstoppable with the left hand. Straight right hand lands. Morales gets in a right hand over the top. Morales tries to cut off the ring. Rahim gets away and stuns him with a right hand. Let's see if Morales is really hurt. I'm not sure Rahim wants to find out.
I don't know if he was really hurt. I think he got caught off balance coming in and didn't expect it because he fights, as I said, on his left leg and his right leg is off balance.
Yeah, part of that was off balance, but he certainly wouldn't have done that if he hadn't been hit.
And Rahim, I think, showed you right there that he's totally comfortable trying to win a decision and confident that he's going to do so. And there's that wet spot that Rahim avoided before. Why don't they dry it off?
You're right, Jim. The referee should stop this.
Referee John Shorley not electing to stop the action and dry the wet spot, even though Rahim has slipped on it twice and just slipped a third time.
I'm wondering if his shoes, it could possibly be his shoes also. The same spot, and I don't see Morales.
Two great right hands by Zahir Rahim. That ends a small Morales rally. Another tremendous round for Rahim, dominating the Mexican star. This is all Zahir Rahim in this round. He has made out of Erik Morales look awkward and slow in round 5.
King is here. He can't do no with you. He can't do no with you. He do no with you. How you feel? How you feel? Take your time. Fight over yet, all right? Ain't over yet. Take your time, all right? Don't get careless. Don't worry. Everything's all right. Exactly. Come on. You want that? You want to give it to him. Take your time, baby. Keep it coming. Hey. Not too much.
If Erik Morales didn't know he was in a fight before this and thought that he would be able to just turn up his jets and turn it around, he is finding out differently here as we get to the midpoint of this fight.
Through 5 rounds, Erik Morales has landed 8 jabs. Less than 2 jabs per round. Rahim 20 out of 120, but he's been way more effective in that category. The best laid plans. As Larry Merchant pointed out at the top of the evening, the brilliant top-ranked matchmaker Bruce Trampler thought it would be okay to let Morales fight against Zahir Rahim.
You can't hold like that.
Here's a slip. Not a knockdown.
Now you're seeing vintage Morales, knowing that he's losing and all those great fights he's had with the world, Pacquiao. He's coming out now to try to win a fight by just punching now and power punching and making a fight of it.
And this will be a test of Rahim's professionalism.
It is, and it's going to be a big test because Rahim has a good chin himself, but he's going to be tested tonight. His skill is superior, but he's going to be, his chin and his heart is going to be tested at this stage right now.
Well, the key moment may already have come as Rahim is wobbled by a right hand from Morales.
I don't know. Something is wrong.
Rahim just said to the judge, will you wipe the ring?
Yes,
will
he's
you
asking
wipe the
Shorley.
ring?
He's asking referee John Shorley to do what we've been talking about for 2 rounds. Wipe the wet spots. Shorley still ignoring it.
Nice body punch combination.
Tremendous professionalism, the way he dug the left hand to the body.
It was not a low punch.
It was a perfect block, just as that was a perfect left hook. No doubt there are a lot of fans sitting at home saying, where in the world has Zahir Rahim been for 9 years? He's showing the kind of talent that sent him to the Olympics.
Well, nothing I can do about it.
The referee says there's nothing he can do about it. There is something he can do about it.
How about a towel?
Well, I don't know. I can't see from where we are whether there's water or not, but I know that both guys have shoes on, and I'm only seeing one guy slipping. That's what I'm beginning to wonder.
Well, do you think it's the paint and not wet spots?
But sometimes, you know, when a fighter has a little fear and nervous that they fall down a lot all the time too, even though they're not aware of it.
Well, but it's also his style when he tries to get away or bend down low.
I don't think he's got anything to be nervous about.
Yeah, Sweet Pea Whitaker was one of his heroes, he told us yesterday, and sometimes he gets down in that fashion.
Whatever it is, he's been down about 5 times, and that's unusual in a fight. And the way it looks, he's going to go down a few more times.
Julio Cesar Chavez and Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. That's the closest they've come to smiling all night. Mostly these have been looks of great concern and consternation over the way their buddy Erik Morales is having difficulty with Zahir Rahim.
That referee is against us. That son of a gun, you got to watch out for that referee. You work fine, but listen, work from a distance.
Best punch early in the round. Good hard right by Morales. And there you see his feet slipping. Part of that from an awkward defensive position. Or part of that apparently from the signage in the middle of the ring, which sometimes can get very slippery.
Incidentally, that last shot came from our new high-speed, slow-motion replay camera. You'll be seeing great replays from that new camera fight after fight. Harold Letterman, how do you have it through 6?
Okay, Jim, 59, 55, 5 rounds to 1, Zahir Rahim. You know, Jim, I gotta tell you, he's getting off first, doubling up on his shots. I mean, he's moving, good ring generalship, good defense. I mean, he's slipping a lot of Erik Morales' big shots. There he got off first and nailed him real good. And as far as the shoes go, I think they're both using rubber-soled shoes, but when you hit that wet spot, you're gonna slip. 5-1, Rahim.
I still don't see a wet spot.
I don't think it is a wet spot. It's that slick sign. That's something which is painted over and can be slick.
Well, in that case, then the referee's correct in saying there's nothing I can do about it. And that, I'm sure, is what referee John Shorley is thinking, is that it's the paint. Jab, jab. Morales trying to jab back. Right hand, but not clean. Intensity in the bout has dropped off just a little bit as Morales begins to search for answers. A couple of rounds ago, it looked as though he was going to go ahead and try to make it a war. Now he backs Rahim off with a right hand. Suddenly Rahim begins to move more and punch less.
The inner strength of Rahim is going to be a big factor going down the stretch, because the talent is there, but he's going to be tested to see how strong he is inside.
Emmanuel, you know him, you trained him for a brief period of time. Do you think Zahir Rahim has the kind of self-belief that'll be necessary to go on through with this?
No, he has doubts, but I think tonight he should rise to the occasion. But he's not one of the strongest individuals I've dealt with internally. But he has a lot of skill, and tonight, the way things are going so easy, it's no way he should lose control of this fight.
He's fighting the fight of his career. He is fighting a tremendous fight. It's not out of the question that on some card, he might have won all 6 rounds.
Time. Go over here. Go over here.
Erik Morales needs to have his shoe tied. Morales Morales practically running to the corner to get it tied.
Vamos, vamos. Erik, right there. Erik. Right there. Time in.
Round 7 is almost finished. Rahim gets in another quick left hook. Morales snaps him with a straight left hand. And Erik Morales looks discouraged as he goes back to his corner after 7.
Respirando duro, hijo. Respirando duro.
All right. Don't give up. If he hits you with a butt head, yeah. The referee is against us. I don't think the referee is giving us a fair shake. Yeah, the other guy's impression the judges, so you got to keep punching a lot.
Come up top, come down to the bottom. All right? All right?
So you don't keep boxes. I keep using like that. That's all. 1, 2, 3.
Top and bottom, baby. Don't fight.
Sometimes the side of beef jumps off the counter and attacks the butcher.
Okay?
Is that what's happening here tonight?
The 1996 United States Olympic boxing team produced 5 legitimate world champions. 112-pounder Erik Morel, 125-pounder Floyd Mayweather Jr., 147-pounder Fernando Vargas, 156-pounder David Reed, and 178-pounder Antonio Tarver. Rahim said, I went to the Olympics thinking I was just as good as any of those guys, maybe better. Took me years to get over the disappointment of losing both in Atlanta and then not getting a great start to my professional career. He's trying to make up for a lot of it tonight. Oh, what a right hand by Rahim.
If he had his hands tight at the end of his punches, Morales would really be in trouble tonight.
What do you mean by that?
He punches, but he doesn't have his hands squeezed tight at the end of his punches.
How can you tell that?
Well, I was looking at it, but I've worked with him before, too. I know. I've worked with him.
So he's looking to slap his opponent?
No, he don't say shoot them straight, but he don't be squeezing it. The degree of tightness of your hands has a lot to do with the power that you have, believe it or not. Some of your best punchers are just guys who just squeeze their hands tightly at the end.
Yeah.
Tremendous difference.
But the layman, who's never had boxing gloves on, underestimates the degree of strength and commitment it takes to keep the gloves squeezed tight.
And some of the gloves are actually designed where it's difficult to even hold them tight.
Rahim getting in 3 great body shots. Mixing body shots into his attack now more freely than before. Morales is still searching for an answer.
Shot a lot of power in those right hands. These right hand missiles he's shooting are very powerful. He may be off balance after it, but if one of them lands.
But he hasn't really caught Rahim or hurt him at any point in the fight.
He can't get his rhythm because he doesn't have anyone that's really fighting with him the way that he was with Pacquiao and with Barrera. This guy's fighting a type of a fight where he can't get a fighting rhythm to go on.
You know, without taking anything away from Morales, in other divisions, he's always been the bigger guy. At 122, he was bigger than anybody. At 126, he was bigger. At 130, he's not the bigger guy tonight, as well as fighting a real slick American boxer.
And Larry, it's good that you brought that up because I thought that was really the big difference between the fight with him and Pacquiao. And I picked him to win the fight simply because he was naturally bigger than Pacquiao was.
Morales' father keeps talking about how the referee isn't giving Erik a fair shake. Memo to Jose. It's not about the referee.
The referees are doing hardly anything in this fight.
That's what I'm talking about. It's time to show the fuck up, man. That's what I'm talking about.
Round number 9, baby. You can pitch him a shutout. Like I said, I don't know what the hell they see, but I see you beating his ass. Now, you're going to have...
Don't be too good with him. And he comes close, belt him. And he gets close, don't hold him up. Hit him hard. He hit you low, so hit him back.
One more clean punch among many. If a fight were determined simply by who landed the most clean punches, this fight would almost be over.
Power connects through 8. Morales 46 out of 221. Rahim 84 out of 199. So it is a working margin of significant proportions for Rahim, at least in terms of CompuBox numbers. Maybe on the scorecards too.
Well, now we're going to see if a fighter everybody regards as one of the great fighters of this time can turn it up and find some way to turn it around.
Indeed. Does Erik Morales have another gear?
You know, speaking of scoring, as much as I hate the Olympic-style scoring, if this was one of those where they have that computer scoring for clean blows, and you get so far ahead they just stop the fight, this would probably have been stopped because of the amount of clean blows that Rahim has landed as compared to Morales.
Well, I'm glad it's not that kind of fight because I'm not ready for him to stop it, Emmanuel. I want to see what happens in the last 4 rounds. As Erik Morales tries to salvage his chance at yet another big fight, he's getting batted around by an obstreperous and not terribly respectful Zahir Rahim. You heard Rahim's trainer Don House say, "I see you beating him up." What do the judges see? Rahim still beating Morales to the punch in the center of the ring. Morales can't decide whether to box or brawl.
Now he's trying to lure
a more aggressive guy who is aggressive and a better puncher would have Morales in big, big trouble right now because he's so confused, his confidence is gone. And his basics with his balance is horrible.
Larry Merchant invoked the name of top-ranked promotions Bruce Trampler, the matchmaker, at the beginning of the evening. He was partially paying tribute to the fact that Trampler has a reputation for being as good as anybody in the sport at choosing an opponent who can make for an interesting fight, but who still allows his star to win. Somewhere in the arena, Bruce Trampler is wondering right now, why did I pick Zahir Rahim?
Well, as we said, it isn't an exact science.
Well, it's not all bad. Zahir just signed a promotional contract recently with Top Rank, so they're not out in the dark all the way.
Meanwhile, Manny Pacquiao of the Philippines did his part of the business earlier this evening, knocking out his opponent Hector Velazquez. Now Pacquiao waits to see if Erik Morales can uphold his end of the bargain and preserve their big money rematch. But it doesn't look all that promising.
Ahí está, respirando duro, ahí está, respirando duro, va.
Deep breath. You're right. Let's go. Let's get some water. We're all right, Erik.
Aquí no hay cansancio.
You're not tired.
Right hand hook. Boom, boom. He's gonna run right into it anyway.
In only 2 rounds has Morales landed in double figures. In every round, Rahim has landed in double figures.
Round number 10, baby. Round 10.
You ain't got the rest of it, it's gonna come.
Second up. Round 10 begins, and the question to me is, Harold, is the fight already over on your scorecard?
Just about, Jim. 8 rounds to 1. 89-82, Zahir Rahim Jim, I got to tell you, I think the worst thing that Erik Morales can do is reach. He leans in and he reaches. It's driving me crazy because every time he does that, he gets nailed by Rahim's right hand. I mean, you just got to watch it. He will lean in, stick that left hand way out, and bam, Rahim comes over the top or whacks him with a left hook.
Yep.
8-1, Rahim.
Rahim leading there with a solid left hook.
I have it 7-2.
Now Morales got in a good left hook there. Morales needs contact and a lot of it. Another slippage by Rahim. Mexican fans believe sooner or later there should be a knockdown. At 7, 8 unanswered punches for Rahim before Morales finally threw back.
There's another beautiful short right hand counter too as he moved in.
Straight left.
That was something that Zahir, I thought, landed the short right hand over there.
Zahir's doing everything. There's a right hand by Morales and a left hook to follow, but no damage. Eight jabs in a row by Rahim, no answer from Morales. Finally, he sticks the left and misses. And now you can see that Morales, tired of eating counter right hands, is getting reluctant to throw. By the way, I don't think Manny Pacquiao should try to fight Zahir Rahim.
It's a little different. Pacquiao brings a lot of intensity and a lot of fury the way he fights.
But Rahim's a big, slick boxer.
The weight. You're
Yep.
absolutely right.
He's a 135-pound slick boxer.
Yep.
Not the right guy. Oh, what a left hook. Backs Morales right off. Erik walked right into it.
This is becoming almost embarrassing.
It really is.
For Morales.
It's a wipeout.
Good fight, Rick. Good fight.
All right, let's go.
Son 2 rounds, ¿eh?
We got 2 rounds to go.
¿Viste cómo hiciste ahora este round?
You saw what you did in the round? You gotta do the same thing in the next 2 rounds. Come on, the other guy is just trying to survive, to impress the judges. He's not doing much.
All right, your jab is working like there's no tomorrow. Keep that jab in his face. This is a basic 1-2-3 combination guy. Yeah. Right? 1-2-3 combination. Boom, 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 get out. All we got to do for the next 2 rounds, all right? Basic combination. We ain't got to do nothing fancy and pretty.
You're a boxer. Box, baby.
You don't even seem to wonder, Manuel, whether Rahim can maintain his poise and his conditioning.
Rahim, go over there.
Because he seems
Give me the towel.
so
Give me the towel.
calm in the middle of what should be a storm.
I'm not done yet.
And his ability to think and concentrate seems to be very good.
Through 10 rounds, Erik Morales has landed only 18 out of 163 jabs. Rahim has landed more than twice as many and thrown a great deal more. And now he starts to pump the jab again. You heard trainer Don House say, keep jabbing. 1, 2, 3, that's all you need to do. 1, 2, 3, of course, is jab, right cross, left hook. Morales reaching, lunging, missing. Rahim popping him and moving away. That's the first time Morales has slipped in the same way Rahim has slipped several times.
I think Larry's right. It's probably the paint because there's no water on the floor at all, I can see.
I agree. Now.
Morales' dad keep referring to the referee as being biased. It's just like someone, the old joke about the butler did it.
Morales felt like he had a moment there. He landed a left hook inside and thought that he had hurt Rahim. Rahim held up both hands. Usually that means, yes, he was a little bit wobbled. Crowd got excited, but now the moment has passed. How many times have we seen it when a fighter like Morales, superstar, trained by his father, gets in trouble, falls behind in a fight, and never once does the father trainer say, you know what, you've lost the fight, unless you go in there and stage a huge rally and turn it all around. We haven't heard that come out of Jose Morales.
No, that's refusing to face reality. And a lot of time the fathers actually go into a state of shock, I'll be honest with you, themselves. And they are just helpless in the corners in those cases.
Like Felix Trinidad Sr. when Trinidad was being blown up by Bernard Hopkins in Madison Square Garden. Like Shane Mosley twice against Vernon Forrest when his father Jack simply never showed the desperation.
The fathers just clammed up in those cases, didn't know what they were seeing, what to do, what the answer was, anything. And the fighter needs help when he's in those type situations.
Morales holding his hands up as if to say, I want you to fight with me. Another slip on the paint. The Morales fans thought maybe it was a knockdown. They trade right hands in the center of the ring. 10 seconds left in the 11th. Right hand by Morales.
That was
That should have been a knockdown. Rahim's glove touched the canvas, and Morales didn't get credit for the knockdown. We'll have to look at the replay, but I believe Rahim's glove touched the canvas.
Okay, Erik, deep breath now. Come on, let me put some water on your balls. Last round. You gotta go this.
Get in his face, right hand, left hook, and move. All right? He's desperate right now. All right? Don't play around.
A desperate Morales, a high shot followed by a shorter one, and yes, the glove did touch the ground. Technically, that's a knockdown.
Yep,
the
right glove.
did not call it.
From that angle, I really couldn't see clearly myself.
Actually,
it appeared, but I really can't see.
Yeah.
I really couldn't see. But regardless of what, Zahir's going to have to, because he's won maybe 10 rounds, he cannot just rest on that. He's got to get some respect this last round. If it don't, it'll be a nightmare for him.
He's either won 7, 8, 9, or 10 rounds. You know,
yeah, but he's going to have to fight
exactly
some.
how many.
Guys, think Taylor Chavez. Taylor Chavez.
All right.
Morales is in the position that Chavez was in, coming out in the last round against another Philadelphia fighter, having to score a knockout to win.
Yeah, but I'm not sure he's done anywhere near the kind of damage that Chavez did to Taylor, to the body and the straight right
I
hands.
agree, but that's the desperate situation he's in.
Yep, I agree. The 11th round was as close as Morales has been to having a big round. Not as big as he might have liked. Rahim doesn't feel as though he needs to win the 12th.
I would box, you get paid to go 12 rounds, work the whole 12 rounds. All he's got to do is, once he starts boxing and hitting Morales is going to slow down his attack. That'll take the pressure off of him a lot.
I think he's got to win this fight, this round, excuse me. Let's remember, Morales is the star. The crowd is a Morales crowd.
The judges are American judges, 2 from California and 1 from New York. Dr. James Jenkin, Raul Calles Sr. from California, Julie Letterman.
That's what he needs. That's what he needs to keep doing right there.
Great right hand by Morales. Rahim backed Morales off.
And that'll slow him down a lot more, get a little bit more respect.
Another exchange won by the American fighter. Erik Morales is showing his fighting will and spirit as he tries to lift himself in these last 2 rounds.
He's been in so many of these wars right here.
But he's only landed a couple of big shots. Nothing earth-shaking. And now in the last minute of the fight, after all of the wars and all of the years, I have to wonder if Erik Morales, in moving up to 135 pounds tonight, finally bit off more than he could chew. He said it would be interesting for him to take on the kind of challenge he hadn't had before. Now maybe you see why he hadn't had this kind of challenge before. Morales scuffling and scraping, trying to get something done, but the clock is winding down. And Rahim backs him off again with a straight right hand. And now Zahir Rahim is going to try to make a closing statement in the last 10 seconds as Erik Morales looks for one more shot, and it's over. We'll see what the judges saw.
I thought Rahim won the fight, but remember earlier we also pointed out how the judges' kindness helped Oscar De La Hoya out in a similar scenario in what was purported to be a run-up to a major showdown between him and Hopkins.
Harold Letterman gave 10 of the 12 rounds here to Zahir Rahim. The fight you're referring to, of course, was Felix Sturm against Oscar De La Hoya. And frankly, this was a much more one-sided fight than Felix Sturm against Oscar De La Hoya. We mentioned once again, the judges are Americans. Raul Caiz Sr. of California, 17 title fights. Scored Marquez over Salido, that was pretty easy. Dr. James Jenkin, 38 title fights. Had Castillo, the winner over Joel Casamayor, 116-112. Maybe he likes body punchers. And Julie Letterman, 13 title fights, scored Corrales over Casamayor in their second fight, 115-112. The previous scorecard we showed you was from the first Corrales-Casamayor fight.
Yeah. Bryce, Alicia, Tina.
Michael Buffer's already got the numbers. Let's see who won.
See y'all, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, here at Staples Center, we go to the judges' scorecards. Julie Letterman scores at 118 to 110. Dr. James Jenkin, 116 to 112. Raul Caiz Sr., 115 to 113. All to the winner by unanimous decision. Zahir King Rahim.
Decision, right winner, and Julie Letterman had the scorecard identical to her father's. All's well that ends well. Erik Morales soundly beaten by Zahir Rahim in his first fight at 135 pounds. Manny Pacquiao will look for another opponent against whom to make his next batch of millions of dollars.
And it probably won't be with Zahir.
No, I don't think he should ever fight Zahir Rahim. I think he should go back to 126 maybe and knock out some more featherweights, but we'll see what happens in the crowded 126 and 130-pound weight classes.
Yeah, Pacquiao is an exciting fighter, though.
Pacquiao's an exciting fighter.
Yeah.
No matter who he fights, it'll be a big attraction. Erik Morales will be back for more big fights, but this was Zahir Rahim's night, Zahir Rahim's moment. He landed nearly twice as many total punches as did Morales. He threw more punches than did Morales. Amazing. No one would have predicted that. And he landed at a significantly higher percentage. Power shots, and again, these will be dominant numbers for Zahir Rahim. No one would have predicted that Zahir Rahim would land nearly twice as many power shots as Erik Morales and land at twice as high a connect percentage. This was a brilliant technical performance by a fighter who put it all together on the night when he needed to. And Larry Merchant stands by with Philadelphia's Zahir Rahim.
Zahir, congratulations. How did you pull this off?
It was due. It was due. It was my time. I've been in this game a long time, Larry. I stuck with it, had faith, and I studied my craft. You know what I mean? I stayed in the gym and always believed in myself and nobody else will. And I worked hard. It wasn't a gift, man. I earned it. I earned it.
Are you over finally with the depression of what happened to you in the '96 Olympics and when you went home to Philadelphia to find David Reed, the hero?
Oh, yes. I mean, it's been almost 10 years, and I finally got my just due, but I'm still not happy and done yet. I haven't yet accomplished my professional goals. I want to be a legend, and I won't stop until I'm done.
What did you see in Morales that you could exploit?
I wouldn't say so much as Morales in particular, but it's what I believe in myself. I know, you know, Morales is a champion. He's a legend. He's beat plenty of good guys, and I take my hat off to the man. He's a great warrior, and I give him all the credit, but I just believed in myself. Even if it was another champion there, I would have believed this the same way. It wasn't just particular Morales. It just I believed in myself, Larry.
Were you surprised that you could hit him with so many clean punches?
Yes. I'm not going to be cocky. Yes, I was, Larry. I was.
How did you turn around your style from somebody we all thought was this slick boxer into a boxer puncher who could beat a guy like Morales?
Well, Larry, I told you in the meeting that, you know, I learned how to train for conditioning and believe in myself and not to lose weight, which was killing me. So I actually just, you know, took my time and actually focused and ate right and believed in myself.
Who would you like to fight next?
Whoever my manager, my promoter put in front of me, Larry. It doesn't matter from here. I've accomplished my goal. I'm over the depression of that, you know, I felt I was a failure after the Olympics. I'm happy now, and it doesn't matter. Whoever you want me to fight, Larry. Whoever HBO said they want me to fight, let's go.
Thank you, and congratulations again for a great performance.
Thank you, Larry, and I want to thank Erik Morales in this camp. He's a great fighter, man. He's a legend. And I wanted to say what's up to Fred Jenkins in North Philly, Tony Holden, Tina, and the Holden family. Thank you. I love you.
All right. Erik, you describe what happened to you tonight.
Erik, descríbenos lo que te pasó esta noche.
Bueno, es un peleador muy difícil, se los dije. Es un peleador rápido, difícil. Casi nunca presenta pelea. Y eso es complicado.
Yeah, like I said, he's very elusive, very hard to fight. He never really put up a fight because he was moving around so much.
And yet he hit you a lot of clean punches, didn't he?
Pero él te pegó muchos golpes, limpios golpes.
Sí, no, claro, sí nos pegó algunos golpes, pero por los mismos que le golpeamos, yo creo que fueron muchos más golpes a las manos que contados los golpes fueron los que me pegaron y bueno.
Yes, he hit me a lot of punches, but he also missed a lot, and he also hit me on my arms. I was blocking a lot of them.
Do you feel that the weight made any difference? This is your first fight at lightweight.
¿Sientes tú que el peso, 135 libras, tuvo algún efecto porque fue tu primera pelea en peso ligero?
Pues realmente no te lo sé decir, no, pero sí es un poco diferente, pero pues más que todo es un peleador difícil, ¿no? Y eso se complica más en cualquier peso.
I don't think the weight was too much. It's just that he was a very difficult fighter.
Does this mean you will go back to fight at 130 pounds or even 126 because you're so much bigger and stronger than most opposition?
¿Esto significa que tú regresarías a las 130 o tal vez si puedes a las 126?
No, jamás. Para adelante.
No, never. I would never go that way.
What do you see happening now?
¿Qué tú ves pasando ahora de ahora en adelante?
Primero que nada, pues vamos a ver el video, vamos a ver qué pasó, vamos a ver con calma qué es lo que pasó en video y después tomaremos una decisión.
First we're going to see what happened. We're going to review the tape, see really what happened, then we'll make a decision.
Do you think that the rematch with Pacquiao is gone for now?
¿Piensas tú que la revancha con Pacquiao ya no es?
No lo sé, vamos a ver.
I don't know.
Thank you. Thank you, Erik. Jim?
Thank you very much. So Zahir Rahim joins Marco Antonio Barrera as the only two fighters ever to beat Erik Morales. And before we get to Zahir and his new eminence in the sport, one thing that occurs to us about Morales, all these great fights over the years, most of them, as Larry pointed out, going the distance, so many wars, so many rounds, has all of that finally caught up to Erik Morales?
I think I definitely could see the effect of that. And also you had an opponent that was taking advantage of his shortcomings, because every time that he punched before, it was always someone's body there to brace him. And this time he had an elusive guy who was moving back, making him fall off balance, taking advantage of his bad basic foundation. And the guy came in focused and prepared to fight. And I do think the weight did make a big difference for us out here.
I'm not sure that Erik Morales is a 135-pound fighter. I think he'd have trouble with guys like Corrales and Castillo, who are much bigger hitters, it seems to me, than he is. I'm with Larry. I think he's got to go back to 130.
I think so, too. I mean, the winner could do that because he's a elusive boxer. But being that Morales is a physical fighter who basically wears his guys down, overpowers them, and as Larry pointed out earlier, most of his opponents earlier, he was really much bigger than they were physically. And it's a new ball game now.
Well, you made a great point about Rahim during the fight. He did not have self-belief when he came to train with you a couple of years ago. Now, trainer Don House has gotten him into a condition, a physical condition, where he can focus more on fighting. With that kind of self-belief, where does he filter into the 135-pound picture with guys like Corrales, Castillo, and Juan Diaz? Because in my view, maybe he's the best boxer of the group.
When you consider the fact that he has not been active at all, consider maybe 1 or 2 fights a year, not even fought top competition, and fought so well under these conditions, this crowd, hostility, good opponent, it means that he's going to only get better. And if they have him fight on a regular basis, which I'm quite sure Top Rank will do since they have him now, he's going to be a real big threat in the lightweight division, and his confidence is definitely going to grow.
So he can keep those spectacular trunks and that great robe. He grew into them tonight. Larry Merchant, what about Zahir Rahim and his new position in the lightweight division?
I don't know. Not too many guys want to fight a fighter like him.
That's right.
You know, so, you know, that'll play itself out. I think we just ought to celebrate that a young man who thought of himself as a star once and fell to earth and couldn't overcome it for a long time, suddenly found himself, and that in itself is a remarkable story.
And a great story for American fight fans to see a guy who was a member of the United States Olympic team all the way back in '96, emerging tonight finally into the limelight of his pro career.
And I'd like to say, you know, one final word, Jim, a personal and even parochial word about the disaster in New Orleans. Like a lot of tourists, I have very fond memories of many visits to New Orleans. I hitchhiked there from Oklahoma as a 17-year-old, saw the streetcar named Zahir barreling down the street, couldn't believe my eyes, jumped on and went for a few stops and had many great adventures and misadventures there. We've done a couple of fights there with Tommy Hearns and Roy Jones. I covered a fight there once with Joe Frazier. Muhammad Ali and Sugar Ray Robinson fought in New Orleans. And New Orleans produced a couple of champions in the modern era. Willie Pastrana, the light heavyweight. Joe Brown, an outstanding lightweight. And finally, I'd like to say a couple of words about Bernard Fernandez, the boxing writer for my old paper in Philadelphia, the Daily News, who comes from New Orleans. His entire family was dislocated, lost everything they had. A relative suffered a stroke and died. We're thinking of you, Bernard.
Indeed. And of course, not just New Orleans. All along the Gulf Coast, my relatives in Gulfport and Biloxi, all of our thoughts are with you. Bay St. Louis, the casinos where we've done fights in the past. We'll see how all of that reemerges in the future, but like all Americans, we extend our sympathies and our condolences to everyone who has lost so much on the Gulf Coast tonight. We'll have a final word on what happened here in boxing in just a moment after these words about what's upcoming on HBO.